All right, good morning, guys. Hopefully you are okay, and let's get right straight into it. So we're gonna be counting levels, and I'm gonna show you some mistakes that we did last week, which I was looking at yesterday, and I felt like these are gonna be corrections going forward to say, okay, this is the mistake that we made on some of the pairs that we analyzed it and probably maybe lost the direction and so forth. So this is going to be an interesting one. Now, we talk about the market makers all the time, and I've shown you 3 different scenarios of market maker, and I've said we have this one like this, and we also have this kind of market maker. All right. So and I said last time that the difference between these 3 is that, number 1, this one formed a peak, level 3, went into level 1, went into level 2, and then went into level 3, all right? And then I said this is the perfect one that we are all used to. Okay, and this one, if you see it, then you say, oh yeah, I know what we're talking about. So ideally what we're looking for is the market to show us 3 pushes. It can be rise or fall in one direction for 3 days, right? And when we say 3 days, we are not referring to 3 consecutive days. We are saying there can be consolidations in between. This consolidation over here can span through 1 or 2 days or 3 days, etc. But ideally, we want to see 3 clear pushes, all right, on 3 days, okay? And this is 1 hour time frame. And then I'm going to explain something as we go. So the second one, we said this one, the dealer forms a peak, all right, and goes into level 1, goes into level 2, goes into level 3, and then he forms the peak formation low. Now, the difference with this one is that there is an extension of a level, all right? There is an extension of a level. And I'm going to explain something again about this one, right? There's an extension of a level, and then the market decided to form a peak formation low. Probably we were expecting a reversal here, and if you had taken a buy, you were going to maybe be stopped out, and then the market was going to form a low at the bottom here. Then you take another buy again, then that's only when you're going to be in profit. And I always stress out that you are better off waiting for a pattern to appear before you take the market. I know sometimes we get excited into thinking, oh no, maybe the market might reverse at that point in time, and you want to try and catch those sniper entries and all. If you are good at them, that's fine. But if you're not, then you're going to get stopped out or drawn down a long time. So you need to be very careful and wait for the pattern to appear before you can jump into the market. All right. Then the last one, which is the third one, right here, this one, it forms a peak, and then it goes level 1, level 2, level 3, and on the same day, it reverses that level, or on the same period or same session, it reverses that level and goes level 1, level 2, and straight into level 3. Now, this one, you might find it maybe when the dealer is forming a V type of a peak, or the first leg of that peak right there, or sometimes they can run away straight away and give you 3 more levels in the opposite direction, or go into a reset and then from there start to give you a completely new cycle altogether. So you need to have eyes for you to see what exactly is actually going on. All right. So now, this being the case, this one, type 3, it's a little bit difficult to catch, though you might, but it's a little bit difficult. And for you to count levels on it, it's going to be effective if you count levels basing on the basing on highs and lows. So that means instead of you saying, I see market closed on that particular day and I've seen the rise and lows, you are better off marking lows as your levels. Remember, there are so many ways for us to count levels. We can count levels by consolidations. We can count levels by ADR moves. We can count levels by lows and highs. You can count levels by moving averages. There are so many ways to count levels. So you'll find today when I'm counting levels for you, I'm going to be applying all of those going forward. All right. Now, I can see that two people sent messages. If you've got questions, can you please ask me? I'm sorry I can't see your questions. I need to fix this after the meeting. Why I can't see people's questions when I'm on the whiteboard, but please make sure you can get right in with your audio if you feel it's something that's very important that you want me to say. All right. Maybe let me try this for now and see if that will help. All right. Oh, someone is saying they can't see the whiteboard, but I'm thinking a lot of people can see it. How many people can't see this whiteboard? Because I've just explained a lot of things here and I'm thinking people can actually see it.
No, which message are you reading? The one which is saying whiteboard dololo.
Yes.
No, that one is from the first time before you
Okay.
text me.
All right. That's good then. That's good. I just saw it pop up here. I'm like, oh, maybe something is wrong. Okay. Right. Now, so we've got so many ways of counting levels, and you should know all of them because they will help you. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Market makers are very good in hiding these things, right? They hide them in such a way that they know you know about them. So they don't want you to see them like clearly. Otherwise, if you would see them clearly, then we're gonna be all billionaires here, you know? So they will try and hide those things, make them, maybe sometimes they will hide them in such a way that you will only see them when they have moved. Sometimes you might not see them at all and still get confused. So you then have to be selective. Like what I always say, you need to be selective in what you trade. You need to be very careful and say, okay, I'm going to trade only this. I'm not trading this pair because I'm not seeing clearly and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that because there are so many pairs to actually trade. And for those who trade only one pair, you can actually wait until the market shows you something that you are familiar with. All right. Now, I'm gonna rub half of this board so I can explain something in terms of levels because we said we're gonna be dealing with levels today, and I feel please watch this video and rewatch it several times because this is going to be an eye-opener for you and try and clear out a lot of confusion that maybe some of you might have. I know you have heard that let me change my color pen. I know you have heard that 3 levels of H4 is equal to 1 level of D1. And you have also heard that 3 levels of H1 is equal to 1 level of H4. And you have also heard that 3 levels M15 is equal to 1 level H1, etc., until you go to whatever time frame. Now, so you have got a market that is on H1, and then the market goes 1, 2, 3 into a reset, then 1, 2, 3. It means this is H1, it means H4 has moved 1, 2, all right? And then H4 will need to move the third time to a peak. Then that means this one will move 3 times. And then D1 will have only moved 1. So that means W1 hasn't really moved. So until D1 pulls and goes the second level and the third level, that's only when W1 would have moved only 1. I don't know if this makes sense because we've been saying this for a very long time, and I'm going to prove that to you on the charts in a second. All right. Now that you know this, then you know how your levels are supposed to actually go. All right. Now, you know again that if the market does not turn at level 3, he's probably going to turn at level 4. All right. If the market does not turn at level 3, he's probably going to turn at level 4. What I'm saying, I'm referring to that cycle that has something like this, an extension of a level, right? But there are some cases where the market will just keep on buying all through. And I'm going to show you in a second where the market buys and buys and buys and never stops. And you're asking yourself, where do I see the level? Where do I see resets and all that? I'm going to show you all that in a second too. This is not that. It's totally different. This states that the market can give an extension on the next day as a stop hand and then turn around. But this definitely is not a turnaround. The market is just continuing going up, all right? And then you have scenarios whereby the market gives you a level 3, goes into level 1, goes into level 2, and goes into level 3. And then the market comes level 1, level 2, and then the market all of a sudden changes direction. And I'm going to show you that in a second as well. If you see the market throwing in 2 levels instead of 3, it means something. Number 1, they are approaching a reset point because we want 1.5 ADR. Number 2, they are in a consolidation phase. So the market is just ranging in the same spot. Or number 3, they are forming a peak on a bigger time frame. All right. Please take note of this. If you need to write on a notebook, please do. All right. So you will see on some days whereby the market just sells only twice instead of 3 times. And then you're like, what's going on? We're waiting for a sell setup on EURUSD. It never appeared. They never gave us a setup at the 200 EMA, but instead they stretched all the way up to where the first level was. And there's no sign showing that the market might give us a third push because they don't want to release people who are on a loss sitting right there on the previous cycle. And I'm going to show you in a second what exactly is going on. So those 2 levels, they love throwing them in areas of consolidations or where we have peak, higher time frame peak formations forming, or if we are approaching a reset. All right. Now that I have explained this, I don't want to waste time. So let's go to the drawing board and see some chart examples. Okay. Now, if you can see my chart, please confirm that you can see my chart. All right. Lovely. People can see my chart, which is good. So we're going to start with, okay, USDMXN, because that's the chart that's open. I've got a couple of templates here, a lot of them that I'm trying out and all. And don't worry about these arrows that you see here. Working on an indicator. So I'm still trying to test it and see how I can modify it and all that. So don't worry about that. Just gonna remove it.
Innovations.
Yes, innovations. I'm trying to work out on an indicator that can actually help spot these H4 long-term moves or H1, but spot them earlier, maybe at a reset level or something like that. Sorry, either at a reset or safety level, something like that. All right. Now, I think for this to be easy, let's go to the chart without Asian boxes. So I will take this one. That's the one that should give me, yes. So I've got different types of templates for different reasons. Now, if we go to the W1 time frame of this pair, right? All you can see now is the W, nice W that's sitting on the 800 EMA. If you go to the monthly time frame, all you can see is a reset, right? And I remember talking about this, saying, guys, you need to watch this out because it's gonna pay. And it's a very good setup, and I expect the market to continue going up for a little longer before it can pull back. Now, I want to show you why I'm saying that, all right? Now, monthly time frame can't tell us much except that we are in a reset, but we can't measure the cycle before that because we don't have that information available to us. The W1 time frame, all we can see is the market sitting at a peak formation. So again, it's hard for us to count levels on this. If we are to, we're probably going to say this is our level 1, and we're probably going to say this is our level 2, and then this is our level 3, all right? And then the market formed a peak, and the market is now going up, but we won't worry with the struggle of finding out what's going there. My interest is from D1, and I want us to count levels starting from this point. All right? Starting from that point, going in that direction. Okay? So I want to know where everything started and where exactly we are. Remember what we said. All right? I'm going to repeat it in a second. 3 levels in H1 is equal to 1 level H4. All right? So that means H4 will be 1 level D1 and M15 will be 1 level H1. All right? So bear that in mind as we go. So what it means again is that if H1 level finishes its cycle, it has to reset before it can continue. If it finishes all 3, right, then it means H4 is the one that has to now reset, not H1. Remember, H4 would have moved 3 levels. So that means H4 is the one that has to now, sorry, D1 is the one that has to now reset because it will mean you have moved 1 level D1. So you want a reset on D1. But when H1 moves 3 levels and resets, it means you're resetting H4. I don't know if this is making sense.
Sorry, coach.
Let me repeat. Can I?
Sorry, just for confirmation,
Yes.
I don't think people can see the whiteboard.
Oh, we are no longer on the whiteboard. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. So can you see the chart, right?
Yes.
Did you see the drawings that I just did on the chart?
It wasn't showing any drawings. I was just seeing the cursor moving without any drawing.
Not drawing, coach.
All
That's what I
right.
thought maybe I want the whiteboard.
All right. Yeah, okay. All right. Can you see my drawing now?
No.
Nope.
Man, I hate this thing. All right, let's go to the application window. Now you should see my drawing.
Yes, now it's showing.
Now we see it.
Perfect. All right. After explaining all this information, okay, let's start afresh. All right. So I said, oh, well, I needed to start afresh anyways. I said, if H4 moves 1, 2, 3, sorry, H1 and reset, move 1, 2, 3, and reset moves 1, 2, 3. These resets, we might be sitting on the 200 EMA, but we're also resetting H4. What it means is H4 is going 1, reset, 1, reset, and 1. All right. And then HD1 in the same manner will go only 1. So after H1 has done 369 levels and H4 has done 3 levels, it's time for D1 to also reset, and D1 can use H4 to reset. So you'll find sometimes these resets may be on the 50 EMA on D1, yet it is the 200 EMA on H4 and the 800 on H1. All right. Okay, I'm just going to mute people. All right. So you'll find that it might be, for example, this one right here. You've got a 50 EMA sitting there on D1. If you go to H4, that's 200. If you go to H1, that's 800. So you might find H1 is on a peak, H4 is on a reset, and D1 is also on a reset, but this one is on a 50 EMA. All right. I hope that makes sense. It's on a 50 EMA. So I want to mark levels here, starting from that point and going up. Okay. Now I'll try and make my boxes a little bit bold so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. I think this should be fine. Yeah. All right. So if I'm to mark my levels starting from here, I will just look at this and say, this is my level 1 for D1, all right? Because I'm in D1, okay? And then I would say, this is my level 2. For what? For D1, all right? And then after the dealer came to that point, okay, which is the highest point at the moment, I suspect this is my level 3. However, it did not take out the high of level 2. So I'll just park it for now and see what's going to happen next. So I want to predict what will happen next. So my assumption is that what is happening here is actually resetting D1 so we can break that high and form level 3, which is why I still favor buys on this pair. Okay. Now, we want to verify if in between these levels or in these levels, there's actually 3 levels of H4 going forward. So we want to know where we are, right? So switch to the 4-hour time frame. We are still yet to mark all this. So I'll show you how we're going to mark it. So from the 4-hour time frame, all we want to see in those boxes is 4 H4 levels, right? Now, I'll start with this and say preferable. That could be my first, all right? This could be my second, all right? And we're going to fix that when we go to the H1, because the H1 is what will give us all the information that we need. And that might be my third, right? And I come here and I say, this is my first, all right? This is my second, all right? And preferable, this could be my third. Okay. And please, if you, now I can see your chart page. So if you feel like I confused you on something, please let me know. All I'm doing here, I'm using higher highs to mark my D1 and H4 levels. That's all I'm doing. Higher highs. All right. Then I'll let H1 do the confirmation. Okay. Now, after that has been done, I'll move to H1. All right. Before we move to H1, another thing that will also help you remember where peak formations form at peak formations or reversals, that is at shark fin levels. So you can see, all right, I'm going to show with the pen. You can see right there, we've got a shark fin, and that is the same spot there where price started to retrace, right? There. And there, price started to retrace. You can see the shark fin there and the shark fin there where price started to retrace. So you can identify your peak formations by shark fins. I know you know all this because it's there in your notes, okay? So you can identify by shark fins. If we go to the other box as well, same thing. We've got a shark fin there. You can see it coincides with the highest point there. A shark fin below the lowest point there. All right. That one there, and that one there, that one there, and that one there. Obviously, this small one is for that neckline of the W, I suppose. And that shark fin for that part there, that shark fin for that part there, that shark fin for this part there. So can you see that everywhere where you had a reversal or a level 3 or whatever, you could see a shark fin appearing. And I'm on H4. So that means if I'm on H4 and I see a shark fin, then I move to H1, where I had marked that a shark fin has appeared on H4. On H1, I need to see an M pattern, and then I can count my levels to confirm that I'm indeed in the M pattern. All right. That's another way for you that you can actually use to find those level 3s. All right. We're going to utilize that in a second. Now, let's go back to our level count. So what we want to confirm, remember, going back to D1, we want to confirm if the 4-hour levels actually have 3 levels in them. So I will change the color when we get to H1, so at least you can appreciate what's going on. All right. So this is the start. Okay. All I want to see is what? 3 levels. Now, starting from here, where our second level is, all right, let me try and change the color of this box and probably put yellow. So this was my first push up to break the neckline of the W, okay? And then after that, the following day was a consolidation, and the following day was a rise, all right? And if I make a mistake, I can always come back to it and say, oh yeah, I made a mistake there. This is how it's supposed to be, right? So this being my second, then that becomes my third, okay? So now if this is the case, then it means I want to see my H4 stopping right here, because this is where I had 3 pushes to the upside. And then I want to see my price reverse into the 50 or the 200 EMA, which in this case, it actually did what? Reverse. All right. So marking this as my H4, the next thing that I will do is I would want to see if I can get the next H4. All right. So this becomes my first rise and a consolidation because nothing happened there. And then this becomes my second rise. All right. And then lastly, this became my third rise. Remember what I said? We're going to fix the H4 boxes. So that means my H4 box starts from here. Okay. And then lastly, I'm supposed to see 3 pushes again to the upside, which is 1 on the first day, and then 2 on the second day, with the high here and consolidations on the following days. And lastly, I'll just bundle this as a one thing up to day. So can you see how we have actually marked our buy side all the way up, having 3 pushes of H1 and 4 hour pushes, which are 3, and then 1 D1 level. So what do you expect when all this has happened? You want to see a big peak formation and a big reset. All right. I'm just going to pause here for now and find out if you guys are happy with what I've done or you've got questions. Do you understand what I've done, or you feel like this is getting you confused more and more? Please let me know. If it's good, just tell me you're good, then I'll continue. I don't want to leave anyone behind, all right? Okay, so everyone is saying, oh, good. It's all good when I'm doing it until somebody else does it. All right. Perfect. So that means we are trekking along because we're going to do a lot of pairs. So I want you to watch, right? So now we come on to this one and we want to see 3 levels again for us to fix our 4-hour charts. I'll even do the USD pairs one so that we understand why they did all that madness last week. Now, looking at this one, which is a bit of confusing a little bit. Let's see. All this to me is a low. So the first rise, I suspect it should be this one. That should be my first rise. And that could be my second rise. And then lastly, that could be my third rise. So I might have to pull this here for a moment. Unless if I skipped something, we'll come back to it. But yeah, this is what I think. This is my 1, 2, 3, right? Then after a reversal, all right, I'll push this one, put this one aside for a second. After a reversal, let me try and zoom this so people can see. All right, so I said that was 1, that was 2, that was 3. All right, so then I've got another rise here after the 50 EMA. I've got another rise here. And I've got another rise here. And then I've got level 3, then the market reverses. So that means that box has to come here, right? Then back into a reset. Now we start the whole thing again. Rise 1, rise 2, and then lastly, rise 3. What do you expect after that? A reversal. All right. But because you expect a reversal and you have just done 9 levels of H1 and you have done 3 levels of H4. So it means the reversal will take a while. This is the reason why in between this level and that level, all right, in between this level And that level, you've got a long-term move, all right? A long-term move is still a pullback, still a reversal to a reset, but it took a long time because we have just finished D1 levels, all right? So that simple means this, you can still trade it as a cycle, but knowing that you are against the trend, you can still move with it and assuring you that when you finish at D1 level, definitely you will have a pullback. You can't just have the market continue buying over and over again. You'll have a pullback, and the pullback is going to be long. It can be 3-4 hour levels. It can be 2 4-hour levels. It can be 9 H1 levels, etc. If you want to count the levels in between there, you're definitely going to find a whole cycle. You can see, like, I'm on H1 and I'm actually scrolling through the whole thing. Yeah, right one right there. You actually have first drop, and then you have your second drop, and you have your third drop, peak formation, 1, 2, 3, peak formation, 1, 2, 3, reset, 1, 2, 3. So you have got 2 4-hour levels, 1 4-hour level, 1 4-hour level. So can you see that you're going towards a reset, but you've just done 1 4-hour level, 2 4-hour level. So you actually have another D1 cycle towards a reset, because you're trying to reset W1, remember? So you've got a full D1 cycle. So you can actually sell from here and go all the way down to a reset. And again, when we say a market has reset, right? For example, right here, we say the market is reset right there, right? It doesn't mean that it has to come and sit on the 200 all the time, right? This is another mistake that you guys make. The market is not supposed to sit on the 200 all the time. Sometimes you can have a scenario whereby you've got a peak, you've got level 1, you've got level 2, you've got level 3, then you come for a reset, and then level 1, level 2, level 3. But your 200 EMA is probably moving somewhere there, whereby the reset is nowhere near the 200 EMA, but you can see there is 1.5 ATR, right? And you can see a nice pattern forming there. Because your higher time frames are actually saying we're supposed to continue buying, this still qualifies as a reset, even if it's not sitting directly on the 200 EMA. Not all of them are going to nicely sit there. Remember, I said the market makers, they try to use every method they can to hide this thing so that people won't see it. Because if you see it, then it means you're definitely going to be a rich person, you know? Now, this sell, I remember when we traded it, I remember very well this year. We traded this sell in August, and it was a good one. And this whole buy, I remember doing a video on it when I was explaining to it. And I remember taking a buy again, continuing the cycle all the way up. And I remember this sell, all of this now. I remember it. Now, I'm not going to mark from this point up to that point. Do you know why? Because I already have the high of level 2. And so anything that does not break level 2, I will not take. But after having that buy, the market went for a big reset, right? After forming a reset, if you count, you'll find you still have 9 levels here. You have 9 levels here. I can count for you if you want, but you have 9 levels right here. And those levels did not break the high of level 2. So that means this cycle is also a D1 cycle, but is of no use to us because it did not break the high. You get the point? I will just quickly mark them for you and show you what I mean. All right. Sometimes it's easier when you demonstrate. Right. So first things first, you've got your first cycle, peak formation, you've got 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be my 4-hour level, first 4-hour level, all the way through there. All right. And then you've got the next one without a second leg, push 1, push 2, push 3, right? You've got your second, oh, sorry. You've got your second 4-hour level right there. All right. Now, I assume you must also get 3 levels going up there. So you've got push 1 into that high. Now, notice how I can't use consolidations on this last cycle, but I'm able to use higher highs. So push 1, first high, because they congested everything into one area, so I can only use higher highs, right? 1. So nothing else closed above there. And look how they congested this also into the same place that they congested it into the same place. But I can clearly see that we had a high there, we had a high there, and then we had a high there. All right. So what you see is a W up. The market comes back down, forms a W, and then forms a new high, comes back down, closes there, and then comes back up, forms a new high, and then comes back down, and then forms a peak formation. So these are still levels. But like I said, if they are not clear, then there's no reason for you to stay all day trying to count them. But I can literally see a high and a low. Sorry, I can literally see a high and a second high and a third high, and they're all different highs. So that means I'll then have to put my 4-hour over there and all the way up to there. All right, because I've got all the highs over there. So I'm actually marking my highs. And this, I wouldn't have traded it myself because it is not clear. These are not clear pushes, all right? They're still levels, but they're not clear pushes. So I wouldn't have traded this. I would have just let it slide, okay? Now, after that, the dealer then pulled back. You can see how they pulled back. Remember the 4 cycles that I was talking about? You've got 1 there, right? You've got 2 there. You've got 3 there. I know all of you remember this buy because we took this buy, right? And then after that, the market gives you an extension and gives you a peak formation below there, all right? It might look like a head and shoulder, which is a head and shoulder, but I'm just showing you the extension over there. Now, but at the back of your mind, you know that this is actually what? A buy, okay? So that means this D1 cycle here is of no use to you because it did not break anything. I'm just going to remove these horizontal lines. Okay. Now, we've got our high there, which we want to break. So it means this cycle right here, again, it's not doing anything to me. You know why? I will show you. So the dealer moved 3 levels to the upside over here. Again, I know you remember this buy. And you can see your first push marking the first high. So marking the first high, I can still bangle it with that if I want as one thing because it broke these neckline highs. So that's the first push, breaking the neckline highs. And then you have the second push over there and the third push forming a peak formation. Then you had a reversal. Now your reversal went all the way down to the peak formations. So that means this is of no use anymore to me. So I would disregard it and start counting from this low. Now what happens next? Dealer gives you 3 pushes to the high. Now these are M15 pushes. Remember, push 1, push 2, and push 3 to the high. And what does it do? reverses again and comes back to the low. So that means this is of no use to me, all right? This is of no use. This is of no use because I am still lying in the same area. Now that raises questions because if this is what the dealer is doing, now I need to know what is it doing from the higher time frames. Okay, why does it keep on hitting in the same spot? Because that's the area of interest. Now, from the higher time frames, you can see for yourself, he's actually sitting at a 50 EMA. The cycle that I was saying is of no use is this one, and that one, and that one, and then the last pullback to that low. So you can see that low that I marked there. So you have a very nice W there. So the dealer was actually forming a W or a pick. So can you see how a beautiful structure was being formed on a D1, but we couldn't see it because we are fixated into H1 and you see choppiness and all that. But if you are on D1, you can then clearly see what exactly the dealer is trying to do. All right. Now going to H1, because we still want to mark the current price. So that means this is my first peak formation where I'm going to start marking from, right? So I'll mark this as my first high because it breaks the neckline of the peak. I'll mark this as my second high. And then lastly, I'll mark this as my third push. So what do I expect next? A reversal. Did the reversal happen? Yes. So that means that's my first 4-hour level right there. That's my first 4-hour level. So what do I expect the market to do going forward? Now, the market has to reset. So there's two things that's going to happen. Number one, the market will either drop back to the 200 and then give me a buy or form the low of the week and then buy continuously for the rest of the week to give us second level of H4 and third level of H4. Or the market can just stop at the 50 EMA there because they don't want to release anyone and give me a setup and then we push up. Now, how are we going to know that? Either way, there's going to be a pullback. So the first leg does have a railroad track right there. So on the second leg, we also expect either to have a railroad track or to have pin bars or to have an engulfing candle or a morning star, shooting star, cow. Everywhere where there's a reversal, you expect those reversal kind of candles or a hammer and all those kind of things. So as soon as we see that candlestick reversal maybe form on an H1 right there, or as soon as we see a W form on 15 minutes, then we can take up the buy from there and we make sure that we buy this long term. All right. Now, the reason why we want to buy, it's because we want to wreck that level for D1 and form, level 2, D1. We want to form level 2 H4 and we want to form level 3 H4, which all in all is going to be level 3 D1. All right. All in all, it's going to be level 3 D1. Now, my next question will be, can you actually do this by yourself? Can you actually do this by yourself? Answer with a yes or no. All right. So the reason why I marked shark fins on the other side, right? It doesn't matter I'm going to show you that now about the shark fins, okay? So now let me remove all my boxes and then let's deal with shark fins. So I was marking the shark fins on the other side because it does not matter which side you mark on. I'll show you in a second, right? If I come here and I put my line there because there's a shark fin there, all right? And then I come here and I put my line there because there's a shark fin there. Now, this shark fin is showing me a point of turnaround and a continuation of the cycle. This shark fin is showing me a reversal. You get the point? So both shark fins are what? Are important. Now, this shark fin is showing me a turnaround, but this is just a reversal because we're already at a peak. So we're expecting the market to continue going down to a reset. But to know how far this was going to turn, I was going to put a shark fin. Sorry, I was going to put a line there. And then it will show me the shark fin. So what you do is, because you're on D1, okay, let me put another one here so I can show you different examples. Okay, so I'll have it over here. Now, because these are all the lines that I have, if I switch to H4, because here I'm D1, if I switch to H4, it simply means wherever I put my line, I need to see a structure. I need to see a structure. Wherever I put my line, I need to see a what? A structure, which is a peak formation. So all that's left for me is to count levels and find the H4 peak formation. Isn't that beautiful? So that's the reason why I am putting my lines on my shark fins. And mind you, these shark fins, they will print as they happen. So the moment you see the green line comes back into the bands, it doesn't mean that the market has already moved. No, these shark fins are actually showing you the first leg. So that means you already know when a second leg will happen. So all you need to do is, after putting your shark fin, and then you come here and you see, I haven't seen the W, I've only seen this pullback. So all you gotta do now is to then count your levels all the way from here, all right, up to down there. And if you arrive at level 3, then you know that, okay, all I need is a second leg, and then I take the buy. All right. So you can actually start with shark fins. You can start by plotting your shark fins, find where the shark fins are with the current market, of course, and then count your levels and confirm that those shark fins are in the right place. And you want to confirm that those are the right shark fins, because if they are at level 3, then it means they are correct. Now, after counting your D1, your H1, your H4 levels, then you can say, okay, I know where the market is going to go. Right. Without wasting much time, let's move on to the next pair. So I'll just pick pairs randomly so that we we do pretty much almost all of them.
And gold must be part of that coach, with all due respect.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Someone is saying
I've won the match. So
someone is saying
again, I've won I'm a sharpshooter.
Yes. I told you to come here, all right? All right, so let's get to Euro USD, okay? Let's get to Euro USD. Now, we're gonna mark Euro USD. Anything is possible, guys. All these cycles that you see, all of this madness right here is very much possible. All right. Now, okay, let's start with shark fins first. Okay. I know you might want to mark your levels from the D1, right? Or some of you might say, the D1 is kind of confusing. Still fine. All right. So to make things easier for you, that's my low right there. And I know it's too far, so I don't want to dwell too much on it. So what I will do is, if you want to make it simpler for you, you just say, okay, I want to identify just a month of a rise. That's my D1 level. And this is my other D1 level. This is my other D1 level. You're identifying just a month of rise, all right? Because the period separator here on D1 shows you a month of a rise, right? So you want to identify that, and then all you want to expect after that is a reset or a reversal. You get the point? Now, after having done that, you want to do the same thing again. You're identifying a month of a rise, right? You identify a month of a rise, and what do you expect next? You want to see a what? A reversal, okay? So don't confuse yourself too much about past data, but I'm just showing you, if you want things to be easier for you, just find a month of a rise. Those clear pushes, that's all you need. And then you are all good. Now, this one where the market is ranging here, but still we should be able to pick out a few bits and pieces with the ranging market. Now, this is still a month of rise. This is still a month of rise. This is still a month of rise. And then what happens next? A reversal, all right? And a reversal all the way up to that low, okay? That's why I said you need a notebook for you to actually understand what's going on. So now after this, the next thing we see is a month of rise, a month of rise, and lastly, another month of rise. So what do you expect? A reversal. And this then formed a nice peak formation and gave us a month of drop. All right. So I've just used the yellow color here. So it means I have to use a different color next. So a month of drop. Now we want to find 3 levels here. Remember what I said? If there is a D1 level, which we're going to confirm by counting levels, if the levels are not enough, then we still need a lot more push to the downside. But if the market has moved to one level, D1, all right, what we want to see is market going back to a reset, which is a very long reset because it can be 3 levels, H1, etc., before the market can continue, okay? Now, if you turn to W1, you will then appreciate why we remember this year when we sold Euro USD for the rest of the year, right? The market sold, and then after that, after forming a peak and selling, the market came back here. Now you ask yourself, why is the market playing around the 200 EMA? And why did the market respect that high there? That should tell you something. It should tell you that probably the market is on the downside all the way up to the low. That's a possibility. How long it's going to take, I do not know. Most probably, we might be selling for the rest of the year next year. You never know. We'll see how the structure is going to be like by the end of the year. But this is how things look at the moment, all right? That's how things look. And it becomes easier to see when the market moves, okay? Now, we go back to D1. So that's our last level right there from the peak formation. So now let's go to H4 and count our levels from H4. So don't worry about the previous cycles, okay? So from the H4, if we want to count here, do you know what you're going to do to make things easier for you again? I want things to be easy for you. You can correct this when you get to H1, right? You can actually use your weeks of drops as your levels, right? You can actually say, that's my first level. You can say, this is my second level. And then lastly, this is my third level, right? This is 4 hour. Guys, if you miss this lesson, then I feel for you, all right? So you can actually say a week of drop, right? So this is an assumption because you haven't seen your H1 levels. So you can assume that a week of drop is equal to H1, H4, 1 level. And then you can say a month of drop on D1 is equal to 1 level. And this is why a day of drop on H1 is actually 1 level. So the good thing about BTMM is that everything that you learn on a single time frame, you just multiply it on all time frames. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you know something that, oh yeah, we have a reset that forms at an 800 EMA on M15, just multiply that on other time frames. The application remains the same on all time frames. That's the good thing about Beat the Map Maker. You don't have different things for different time frames where you are supposed to then apply certain things and all that, but you have to still use the same method. When we say 3 levels on M15, we still want to see 3 levels on D1, all right? The reason why we don't count these D1 levels too much is because it's time consuming and it might take a lot out of you. But if you know the bias, it becomes easier for you to know where exactly you are going. All right. So I'm trying to show you the mechanical way so that at least you can find the bias yourself just by doing that. All right. Right. Let me wrap all this. And then let's go and confirm the H1 levels. Right. Let's go and confirm the H1 levels, which will confirm the 4-hour and the D1 levels. Now, here we are on the H1 levels, guys. And I'm going to use a different color. Maybe let's take, let me take any color. Orange, red. I hope this is going to be clear. All right. Now, if you come here and you put your mark there and say you have seen your first day of drop, you have seen your second day of drop. All right. Now, next day, consolidations. Okay. And then lastly, your last day of drop. So you were on a sell. I remember we were on a sell on this USD during this time. Yes.
Sorry. The first level that you counted, I see that it doesn't break the structure or the founder.
You are breaking.
The brain box behind that, so because me too, I always look at it that sometimes I will count it, but I will look at it that, but the thing will extend, like particularly this EURUSD permit me to draw on this thing. I counted this as my level 1, then I see this that it didn't give me confirmed draw, so I see it at this level 2. Then this is my level 3. Then I see that because I remember you said in the videos where you taught us that they will reset on 50. And this is my 1. I counted all this 1. Then this is my 2. Then this is my 3, which I now see that this is where they want to form their this is W. So I need you to school me more. Please. Thank you so much.
All right. So you are very correct. All right. It's still the same thing. Let me show you. If I put my pen here and mark this as my level 2 and bangle, this is my level 1, I'll still arrive at level 3. You get the sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So either way, whether I put that as my whole level 1 and I put this as my level 2 and then I put this as my level 3, or I do it the other way and consider this as my consolidation and this is my level 3, I will still arrive at the same point. So no matter someone in India is counting the way I did and someone in Australia is counting the way you did, we are still going to arrive at the same point. The basis of all this is to get at the same point altogether, all right? It is only when I get to this point and things start to be unclear where I will then rewind and go back and say, maybe I might have skipped the level. You get my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I then say, oh yeah, maybe I might have skipped a level or something. Let me try and check where exactly I might have gotten this wrong. So that is how you mark your levels. It's not like what you mark becomes final because price is still moving. So you want to be sure that whatever I marked is correct. So you see that and you keep on updating as you go to say, okay, oh yeah, that was actually my level 2 moving forward. All right. Now, having the second box right here, and I know it might look hidden. The reason why it might look hidden, it's because they reset on the 50 EMA. All right. This was 2 weeks back. This was 2 weeks back. But I can still see the first drop. And someone might say, oh yeah, but this drop is too small. It is not small. It's small because the market has moved for a long time. So it has looked like it's shrunk. But this is actually 40 pips of movement in one direction. So it is not really small. But because the market has been moving for a long time, that's why it might look like it is what? Small. All right. Now,
yes, you are right, sir. I remember one of your teaching, you taught us that we should always count 3 days drop, 3 days rise, in which we can use that 1, 2, 3.
yes. So you can see that there, you've got your 3 drops. Now you arrive at your 4-hour second level. Okay. Now you want to see your last 4-hour level. Again, the market does what? Resets at the 50. So these 50 EMA resets are very dangerous. That's what gets people caught on the wrong side because the market just decides to continue the trend. And if you don't see them, you're going to be caught on the wrong side, unfortunately. All right. So I'll just start marking from the second leg. Sometimes it's good to bundle, including the consolidations. But if you want to make it neat, you can leave the consolidations. Like you see, I'm leaving gaps here. I'm leaving gaps because that's where a peak and a reset happen. But you can bundle all this as one, right? And then we came back to the 50 EMA here again. And that to me, you can see the opening price and the closing price are more or less the same. So I will just bundle this together with that move there to mark my level 2. And then lastly, we had the last drop. Remember on Thursday, when I said, now you are ready to buy Euro USD, that is exactly what I had seen. I had seen that we had now arrived to the last drop, and I expected to see Euro USD start to buy. So that's the reason why I said now you can start buying Euro USD. Now, what's going to happen? Because we are seeing that this is a long-term sell, right? We are seeing this is a long-term sell, but we have just formed a D1 level. We've just formed a D1 level. So what we want to see now is the market reverse. Where is it going to go to? The market might go all the way probably to the 200 EMA, stay there for a while before it might go the different direction, okay? And remember what I said, not all resets are going to be like this. Some are going to be like this, whereby they go beyond the 200 EMA. It's still a reset. It doesn't mean it's not a reset. It's still a reset. But you can see like the good thing, some of them, they give you a complete cycle. Some they don't. This one actually did give you a 2 cycles only, because this is the 4-hour time frame. So it only gave you 2 cycles. All right. Now, I expect a big reversal to happen. Again, because we are on the 4-hour, they might decide to go to the 50 EMA only, whichever the case, but we want to see a reversal. All right. So either we will continue and then form a reset and go down. This is going to take a long time. So it's not like it's something that will just happen there and there. So what you can look for is buy setups going up. Now, they might come down for a second leg. And if they come for a second leg for H4, that makes things even so much better for us, because if we buy them now on H4, sorry, on the second leg, that means we will then wait for the market to go wherever it wants to go, or 3 more levels up to form 1 level, H4. All right. So that is how you can count your levels on Euro USD. All right. I will show you the next pair. Okay. Bear with me. This is USDZAR. The reason why I lost on this pair, it's because it didn't want to move. And after that, it then sells all the way, which I really didn't like. But it is what it is. So this is a very clumsy D1 time frame. All right. It's a very clumsy one. But my focus point is probably from here. That is the highest point that has been hit by the market several times. So this is going to be easy in the sense that you have a drop there to form new lows. You have a second drop to form a new low. Or maybe if I want, I can put it here, or I can bundle the whole thing. It doesn't matter. And then you have the last drop right there. So do you see that USDZAR has actually completed 3 levels of D1? Now, having completed 3 levels of D1, what does that tell you? Remember, 3 levels of D1 is equal to 1 level of W1. Now, let's go to W1 and see what W1 is doing. Now, you see why W1 decided to reverse. All right, guys, this is not a coincidence, okay? You form a peak, you go 1 level. What do? You reverse to go for a reset, all right? You reverse to go for a reset. Then you can go for a second level, which is exactly what's happening here. So it's not a coincidence that the market then decides to come there. Or the market can even form a reset there and continue going up. All right? We don't know at this stage, but all we know is that we are on a pullback on W1. We are on a pullback. Now, if I go back to D1 and then try and see where exactly we're going to go, my assumption was that we were going to sell back to the low, all right, form a second leg, and then from there, we can then do whatever we want to do, whether we want to continue selling or we want to continue buying, whichever. But my assumption was that we're going to go down and then we can go up. Now, let's find out what's the most probable cause, all right? So we are saying whatever is happening here is a new D1 level, okay? Whatever is going on now is a new D1 level in a different direction, all right? But because this is a reset, so we're going to play with the conditions that we see. So from the 4-hour time frame, I can come here and say, this is my first 4-hour move. I can assume that this is my second 4-hour move. I'll correct that when I go to H1, all right? Probably use the wrong template. Let's use this one, the clean one. Okay. So I said This is our first. This is our second. And then this is our third, right? This is an assumption. So we're going to correct it when we go to the 1 hour time frame. And we are also assuming that this is our D1 time frame. Sorry, D1 level. Okay. Now, pulling your TDI, if you go to D1, the only place where you have a shark fin is here, where a reversal happened. On the other spots, you don't have shark fins. If you go to 4 hour, you also do not have a shark fin except for this part right here. Now that tells me this cycle, most probably that's where it ended there. So that means we probably only have 1 4 hour left. We're going to see that in a second on H1. All right. I know you also see this shark fin right here. Okay. But if there are no 3 levels to confirm this shark fin, then it means this shark fin is of no use to us. All right. Then you also have another shark fin right there. That one definitely it was showing us where the market was going to pull back, which is very good. Now, let's go to H1 and try and count levels to validate these 4 hour levels. Now, if we go to H1, we're going to start our counting from here, and I need change my color, maybe put blue. All right. So this is our first rise. All right. And then this is our second rise. All right. And this is our third rise. So what do we expect on a third rise? A reversal. We expect a reversal. So this is my first 4 hour level. Then coming back to this, what do we see here? 1. And then we see a 2, but there is no 3 in sight. And what does the dealer do? He reverses the whole thing all the way back to the low. So that means I'll start counting from here now. So that means this is no longer a level. It is just a consolidation and might also be a reset. All right, might also be a reset. And here, the thing is, he went up and then he came back down and he's still playing around that same high there and even closed below. So that's a consolidation for me. And then he moved up 1. And what did he do? He reversed that 1 same time and closed the market from there. So 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, if they buy back to the top, so it means I'm not going to trade this one. If they buy back to the top, it means I'll expect level 2. If they don't and they continue to sell down, I'm looking for shorts because that means we haven't seen level 2 H4. All right. The only thing we saw was just 1 day of rise and that's it. So we haven't seen the second or third day of rise. The market is just consolidating in the same spot. All right. That's the reason why I was saying I want to sell USDZAR all the way back to the bottom here, then have a second leg, and we can then start buying it all the way to the top. So in this case right now, there is nothing signifying that USDZAR is actually going to continue buying, but all we have seen is just 1 rise. So we want to see the second one and the third one going up. So we'll leave it at that for now and say this is just a consolidation. Does that make sense, guys? So you are at a reset point, right? Sorry?
It's making sense. It's making sense. Very, very.
Yeah. So you are at a reset point. You are either expecting the market to sell and buy, or you're expecting the market to continue buying. All right. But now someone might ask me and say, okay, how do I know which one is going to happen? So number 1, if the market is going to sell, it has to form a setup on that particular day, maybe on a Monday or Tuesday, form the high of the week and start selling, like sell very hard and close maybe below somewhere here. And then after you have seen that, you have seen your first day of drop, then you can now look for more sales all the way to the bottom. If the market is going to buy, the market will just form the low of the week, and then it will continue buying. So that means this pair is of no use to you because it will probably give a straightaway trade for the third level, which will be your second 4-hour level. Then we can then look for it after that, because we now are sure that there is no reset happening and there's no second leg also happening. All right. I hope this makes sense, guys. All right, let's move on to the next pair. I know another pair will be USD CAD, the one that has been forming some madness with the all-time buy. Let's see about this one. What time is it? 3:08. If you guys want to sleep, please, you are free to go and sleep. And if you've got any questions before I do USD CAD, please let me know. But these 50 MR resets, guys, they will punish you if you're not very careful. So you need to be very alert because they will definitely punish you. All right. Now we are on USD CAD and we want to see. Okay, so because USD CAD is an opposite of other USD pairs, so it's not going to be so difficult to check it out, right? If you want to start from this low, let's say you want to start from this low and see what the market is doing. Okay. All right. Someone is saying you need to do volatilities. All right. So for volatilities, I've got a video that I'm going to post today for V100S, which is exactly what I am doing now. So please do watch that one. It's going to be out in a couple of hours. And probably I might just do it for you guys or maybe a different pair altogether. We'll see. If you guys, you will be still awake. All right.
We are very, very awake.
All right.
Very, very.
All right. So this being the low, we've got a month of rise. Remember what I said? Just look for a month of rise and you're all done. Look for a month of rise and say, this is my daily level, okay? Now, the following is just a consolidation. So what do we want to see? Another month of rise, right? And then lastly, a month of rise, all right? Now, they made sure that they spike all the way up there to show you that this way, 3 levels. And then what you expect after that? A reversal. And then after a reversal, what do you want to see? A reset. Now, can you see how that reset is sitting on the 200 EMA? It's very funny, but some resets are going to sit like that. Okay, so you're going to enjoy this as the market moves. It's going to be showing you what exactly is going on. So I'm not going to be worried with what happened down here. I'm going to be worried with what's happening here. And I assume this is my D1 level. Reason being, remember, the other USD pairs are doing the opposite. So because we have done EU, it's going to be the same for all the other pairs, even though some might be on level 2 or level 1, etc., etc. All right. So this being our level 1 D1, now we want to find if there are 4 levels here. So 3 levels of 4 hour, okay? All right. I'm just gonna push this closer here. Right. Now let's try and find these 4 levels. This one is going to be interesting. You know why? Because you do not have any pullback that you can see inside. No pullback, No shark fins. The only shark fin that you can see is this one, which is showing you that we are now at level 3. You can see an M formation already where the shark fin is. That's the only thing you can see there. So this one is going to be interesting, all right? Look at H1. No pullback again. So I'm going to love this one. All right. Let's try it out. So you're going to see the way I'm counting levels. You're going to be like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? But I am praying and hoping that I get to level 3 on the upside, because if I don't, you guys are going to kill me, all right? Now, first push, that's what we can see. Second push, that's what we can see. Now, here, I suspect this might be my third push. Remember that type of cycle that forms level 3 and reverses? I suspect this might be my third push. So at the moment, I will just mark this as my first H4 level and leave it as is, all right? We will correct when we come back to it. Now, this is where it all starts to be interesting. Right, my first push. It looks like here I'm going to be marking everything as a push. Okay, that could be my second push. And that could be my third push. All right. So if that's one, so that might be a consolidation. This might be a consolidation and not a push, because there is no clear move. The market open and the market close are more or less identical. So I might have to put my second push as this one and my third push is this one. And then a market reversal. So now that the market has moved, it will then make sense, so that I will then bundle all this, right, is one thing. Now, for temporarily, I'll put this as my 4-hour level. So after the market is reset, which is a 13 MA reset, very poor one, then I have my first push. And then I have my second push. And then what I realized the next day, no high was broken. And the last day, I'll just bundle everything here, because this did not break the high. And the following day, it closed over there. So I'll mark this as my third, but they stop hunted on the following day to form the first leg of the peak. I remember this is the day when I said to people, you might as well start selling USD CAD, and it actually did sell very well, even though during news it started by going up first before it sold. But this was a very good day to sell. I know for those who still remember when I said you can sell USD CAD, all right? Now, after that, then it means this is my third level. Okay. Now, is there any questions before I explain further? This is very interesting, all right? That's why I said I'm going to do it for you guys, and you guys watch. So what we will do is next meeting, you guys are going to be the ones doing it, and I'm going to be watching, all right? So I haven't made any mistake, so I'm hoping you guys are not going to make mistakes. So I'm going to be watching while you guys are doing it. All right. Is there any question? Any
Can
question?
Coach hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You made a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And before I go further in my question, I would like to correct some things. Mr. Morris, me talking when Coach is talking is because everybody pick at different level.
Yes.
There is something that Coach did on USDZAR that I wouldn't want to mention, but I don't want to constitute this one because you made mention that I should let him finish.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, that's that part now. I can't remember the question any longer. And there are some things, if you have been here and ever since I've been on this great platform, anytime Coach is talking, there are some things that I might know it. But because I believe there are some people here that they might not get it, I'll just ask that question so that Coach can establish more for every one of us to be on the same platform. So that is the reason why you see all those things that I'm doing. So thank you so much for that. Now, Coach, you made a statement that we can use shark fin to identify, and we should use the shark fin that came out. And among the theory, how will I be able to identify? Let's say we have 3 shark fin in a place. How will I be able to identify that this particular shark fin is what made me to know that this is the 3rd level? Is it by counting level using my indicators, or by using the price, which is the 4th day rise, 2nd day, or the 3rd day rise? Is it I will use 4 hours? How will I know to confirm that? Or is it based on different time frames? So that's what I wanted to ask.
Okay. All right. Where is my pen? All right. So if you see a shark fin on D1, right? It means you have to turn to H4 to find the peak formation or M or W, wherever the shark fin is. And then you can count your levels and confirm that, yeah, indeed, that is it, right? If you see the shark fin, oh, what's going on? If you see the shark fin on H1, then that means you have to 10 to 15 minutes, all right? And find that M or W right there. If you see the shark fin on H4, that means you have to turn into H1. Remember what, like the statement that I said about this strategy, right? Everything that you see, that you do on a certain time frame, you have to do it on all time frames. So if you see a shark fin on W1, that means that shark fin you have to turn to D1 to find a peak in that area. Does that make sense now? So
yes, sir.
Now, I will give you an example and say, hold on, let's try and find an example. Let's try and find an example. Right. You've got a shark fin on 15 minutes here, right? On 15 minutes here. If we turn to M5 in the same pair, right? We should find a W. You get the point? It's a shark fin on M15. So we turn to M5 to find a W in that area. That W will then tell us either that's a first leg or it will tell us that is a point of reversal. So that is where we're expecting the market to reverse. So you can actually enter even from here, all right? Or wait for the second leg and enter from there and take your buy all the way up. Now, don't just take every single shark fin that you see. You take a shark fin after you have counted levels. So it means if you're going to take this shark fin that I have shown you now, you need to count your levels and see that you've got a peak formation level 1, level 2, level 3, reset level 1, level 2, level 3, blah, 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 until you get to a peak formation. Then you say, oh yeah, I've seen a peak. I'm taking a buy now. and then you buy all the way up. Do you see it?
Yeah. Now, I get it.
That's how I've
What can-
shown you how you could have bought this, right? Let's go to H1 and find the shark fin on H1. Right, shark fin, where are you? H1. I'll take this one. That's an H1 shark fin. Where is it? Nah, that one. Nope. That one, there could be a reset right there. No. There's no reset. That one, I can't take it. Do you see why I can't take it? That's a very good example. Yes. Now, see this one? It's a shark fin over there on H1, right? But do you see how the market continued to go all the way down, right? If you get to this point and you say, yes, I've seen a shark fin and I'm expecting the market to start going up. Now, what you need to do is to first count your levels and see if you will arrive in the same point.
Coach,
Yes.
please, with all due respect, can you help me to count level from that 200, that place that they reset, down to that place you saw the sharp pressure? Yes, sir. The way you mark it down. I think from that reset is what you before you now look for sharp fin.
That one there,
So
where there's a shark fin, you mean?
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. Help me to mark the level. I think that's what led you to pick the shark fin here. From this,
I have to start counting from there. All right.
Okay. From up here.
From the peak formation, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because not every price that is at the 200 EMA is a reset. Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Let's give it a try. One.
Thanks.
Oh no. I'm holding the wrong thing. All right. 2. And lastly, 3. All right. Now we've seen our H4 level. Now, this being the low, that being a reset, my first drop is this one. For now, that's what I can see. What's going on here? All right. For now, that's what I can see. Now, I will temporarily mark this as my second drop for now, right? And I'll temporarily mark this as my third drop, all right? And that is a consolidation. Now, hold on a second. Then I'll mark this as my drop. I'll mark this as my drop. Oh, sorry. And then I'll mark this as my drop. Either from there or there, it doesn't matter. Now, do you realize how the market actually moved, right? Now I'm going to correct it. How the market actually moved to the reset, moved down, consolidated, went back to touch the reset, right?
Yes.
You see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if I am to mark it the way you were saying, right? If I am to mark it the way you were saying, I'll remove this box and say, okay, fine. This was reversed. So that's my 1. That's my 2. Still, my 3 becomes this one right here. All right?
Yes.
So I have a peak formation there. And then I've got a new one altogether. Okay? So do you realize that your shark fin is not relevant? The H1 shark fin that you saw.
Yes, that is why I say we should count it so that we can all get it out.
It's not relevant. So what the dealer did was he formed a peak, went 1, went 2, and went 3 into a consolidation, formed a reset, went 1, consolidation, came back to the reset to form the second leg, pushed 1, pushed 2 into a consolidation, pushed 3, formed a W, went for a reset, pushed 1, pushed 2, and pushed 3. Now I have a complete D1 level. All right?
And not shark fin at that place.
No shark fin at that place.
So that means we are going to work with this particular line.
Yes. So if you want to work with a shark fin, you need to count your levels. Don't just take any shark, because shark fins are caused by a rapid movement of price to a certain direction, right? That's what causes shark fins, a rapid movement of price. And you can see right there, this was news. News rapidly moved right there. So that is why that shark fin was not relevant. So you couldn't take that M15 buy because your levels were suggesting that you are only on level 1. All right. So you were going to be going against the trend.
Thank you. You really answered and claimed that.
You are going to be going against the trend. Guys, I'm sure this is making sense. This is another D1 cycle that we've just marked here. Okay. So I'll just mark the whole thing with its consolidation. So this is how I want your charts to look like when I say when you tell me that, oh yeah, this is a buy. This is what I want to see. If you put in the work, guys, you'll reap the results. But if you just say, yeah, I'm seeing a peak formation on level 3, I expect that to be a buy, and you don't send a chart that looks like this, it's hard for us to then tell you that, oh yeah, it is a buy, because we don't know what makes you think it's a buy. All right. But if you send a chart like this, it's so much better. I can tell, I can look at it and say, yeah, this person actually did all of the groundwork, and definitely this is actually a what? This is actually a sell. You get the point? And you can argue with me and say, but this shark fin is not relevant because that's level 1 on H4 level 3, you know? But if you don't mark your levels like this, or you don't mark your charts, it's going to be hard for you to see. So can you see how we have marked the whole sell and the whole buy? And now what are we expecting? We want to see the market form a peak formation, all right? Which is what's being worked on right now. And we want to see the market, we want to see the market go down. Anyways, we want to see the market go down. How far it will go, it's probably going to go on a reset and then continue buying. Now, let's talk about current price. Let's talk about current price, because that is where we want to be interested in, this part that I never marked here. Now, see how the dealer throw you 2 levels. Remember what I said. The dealer will throw you 2 levels, especially if he knows that he's forming a peak formation. He will throw you 2 levels, or if he's forming a reset or things like that. Okay. So now, what am I supposed to do with USD CAD for the start of the week? Right. I'll turn to the 15 minutes because there's something important that I want to show you there. Now, this is our high, okay, of the D1 level. So I want to see us test that high again, okay? I want to see us test that high again. So the dealer used 15 minutes levels, all right? I'll mark these with a different pen, different color, sorry. Used 15 minutes levels to push the market down 2 levels. Look at that. 3 pushes to the downside, 2 push the market 2 levels. Now, going back to the peak, so you could have taken this buy if you wanted to. Remember that shark fin that I showed you. Now, going back, he then shows us 1, and he shows us 2. All right. So my ideal kind of setup is to see a third push to the upside. Okay, I want to see a third push to the upside. So I'm expecting the dealer to stop hand to the upside, form a high. So we're going to wait for H1 to form a railroad track, a hammer, pin bar, all those candlestick reversals from the basics of trading. So you want to see H1 form one of those, and then we can take the sell downwards. And probably we're going to move 3 levels down because this is D1 peak or H4 peak. So we might go for quite a while. And that's opposite of what other USD pairs are doing. All right. I can see 4 people have already gone to sleep. I can see some people.
Can we go for gold?
Huh?
Can we go for gold, sir? You said we are going to mark
Gold.
golden gold.
Gold is very simple. The reason why I'm saying that it's because gold is buying, guys. All right, gold is buying, and from the D1 time frame, you can see how they formed a peak there and then came to the 13 EMA and started to go up. And from the 4-hour time frame, you were actually resetting there. H1, you were sitting at the 200 right there. Now, from the H1, if you want to count, you can count 3 levels going that direction. All right. You can actually count this as your first level. This is your second drop. And then this is your third drop. All right. And then into your peak formation. Now, after having reset or created a peak, the market then moved. Oh, the market then moved 1.
Give us example.
All right. The market then moved 2. And the market then moved 3. Up to there. All right. So that's your 4-hour live. Okay. Now, what we want to see is the market move another buy up. Already, that's what I can see. Okay. Another one right there. So we are one short.
Sorry, sir. You said a day on a H1 should be, we should count it as a level.
A day of rise or a day of fall. All right.
Yes.
So notice how, Jock, notice how.
We are counting two levels on a day.
No. You can't say 1, 2, 3. No, you can't do that.
I'm referring to the last one you counted.
No. There is a demarcation here. That's a separate day. That's Friday. There's a demarcation day.
We see.
Huh?
Yeah, it's 2 days. It's 2 days.
Yeah, that's 2 days. There's a demarcation day.
16 and 17. That was my birthday.
It was your birthday. Oh, happy birthday, man.
The two of you are sharing the same month.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They really paid me that day.
I'll put it on my calendar next time.
Thank you, coach.
That's your third right there. So you want to see another rise, which I expect to see when the market open. The market has to just keep on buying up to that.
Yeah, I was
and
even expecting a pullback.
yeah, then we will expect a pullback. All right. Then we'll expect a pullback. They can even stop hunt and then give you a high and then start to pull back. All right. Still one and the same thing. Still a pullback. Okay. Then you will expect a pullback. After that pullback, we form another 4-hour level that will go up again. So that's going to be interesting. Now, where is the 4-hour level going to form? There's a high possibility that your pullback is going to come maybe in that high there. I'm assuming, you know how gold loves to test previous levels. So it might come to that high there and then go up. But they will make sure that they don't take out this low. If they do, then it means we still need to expect a second level and then a third level. Does it make sense? But gold is still bullish. All right. We have done a lot of pairs, guys. I'm gonna mark some charts and send them for the other pairs that we didn't do, so you guys can have a look at them. For those who wanted me to do volatilities, do you still want me to do one volatility or not? Please confirm in the charts page.
Yes. We are waiting. We are very waiting.
All right, no worries. So let's go to volatilities.
You are on AU already. Why must you now go to volatility?
I wanted to be sure these guys are not sleeping, all right?
After the AU, you can now go to volatility. We are not sleeping. We are.
All right, I want to be sure that you guys are not sleeping. Can you see my volatility chart?
Yes.
Do you see all the boxes that
Very
I
clear.
put in there?
Yes, the white ones, yeah.
Yeah. So this was me counting the levels. So I'm not gonna do this one. You will see it on YouTube. A whole video about this pair because it's my favorite pair. This and step index, right? Step index. I sent a video about it yesterday. It's already there on YouTube. Please check it out again, where I said there is a possibility that the market is gonna have to buy up maybe to the 200 or to the 50 and then continue selling. Reason being, from the 4-hour time frame, we formed a peak and then we moved level 1, we moved to level 2, and then we reversed the same level and we moved this level down. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. But because we reversed 2, I am still thinking we're going to form a W on that low, all right? And then go up, form a reset, and then continue going down. Now, to support my theory even further, if you look at D1, you've got a market that has been ranging for a long time. So your market has been sitting in this spot for a long time. So what you want to see the market do now is break those lows. So it has tested those lows to try and lure people into thinking that the market is not going to break them. But I assure you, what's coming next is a reset. And then from there, the market will break these lows comfortable and go all the way down. And now going all the way down, that's 3 levels down, which means that will be 4-hour levels. So as I said, if you go back to H1, where do you expect your setup to form? First things first, wait for a W to form here. You've already seen a railroad track on the first leg. Please go and watch the video on YouTube. That will make more sense to you. So you already have seen a railroad track. So what you want to see is a second leg, a dihammer, pin bar, railroad track, whatever kind of reversal pattern that you know. From the 1 hour, not the 15 minutes, from the 1 hour, you want to see it on the second leg. And when that happens, then we can buy either up to here and see a peak, or the dealer can decide, I'm not going to buy up to that point, but I'll instead buy up to this point. All right. So that is my expectation. Okay. And I had V75 rear, and looking at it from the 4-hour time frame. All right. Sorry, guys, if I'm rushing. I don't want to keep you here for a long time. So I realized that starting from the D1, we have a peak formation and the market has sold. And with this selling, some of these charts I've already marked, so which is going to make it quicker for you. You can see how the market has formed. I don't know, up to right there, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And how the market has formed 2 4-hour drops. All right. And then you can mark this for yourself and see if you can get 3 or not. Then the market gave you 1-hour cycling as a pullback, which is the 4-hour, which is what someone posted as a setup. I remember seeing someone posting this setup and it went very good. And I did clarify that if we break the 200 EMA, you can then look for continuous buys, which the market already has done. Now the market is resetting here. So what I want to see is market form a low, because already from here, I can see the market has dropped once. The market has dropped the second time. And now the market is dropping for the third time. All right. So I can mark here, I can mark there. It doesn't matter. But what I'm expecting is to see the market start to buy up. But this buy is going to be very short term, because I'm thinking to myself, this buy is just going to be more like an IT50 kind, because you already have an M there. So you want to see the market give you an ID50 and then we continue selling. So I know we are so used to V75 being a continuous buy, but all of a sudden V75 has been selling. You guys can see, I remember during those years when V75 was just climbing all the way up, but because it formed a peak on a higher time frame, right? This is the daily time frame. Then we need to see the market continuously going down. Now, if you count your levels from D1, I can assure you this is a whole cycle. This could be a reset, and the market could be giving you a whole cycle again this side. All right. That means your W1 is actually on level 2. All right. So if you look at it, your W1 is actually on level 2.
Sorry, coach.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. If you look at D1, I think that is a nice W there.
Where? Here?
Yes, sir.
This one?
Yes.
It
This particular one.
It was a nice W until this happened, right? It was a nice W until that happened. So yes, it is, or it was a nice W. Now, remember, what you want to see is, okay, that's why I said I can't count levels here because we're going to be here the whole day, right? But if you want, I can send you some charts, maybe sit down and count all the way starting from the top here to try and show you what exactly is going on. But I can assure you that this might look like a W. If we go down here, we might see 3 levels, right? We might see 3 levels here for D1, which is good. Now, this cell that we see here, my assumption is that we need to go all the way down to these lows, right? Then we can look for buys. So I want to see the market go down there, then we can look for buys. But those buys still, they can come to the 200 EMA as a reset, or already the market has reset there on the 50. You get it? So you can find the market has formed a peak, the market is already reset, and the market is on a push for the third level of D1. Do you get it?
Yes, yes.
So if you zoom this chart, you'll see you have got a whole cycle here, all right? You've got a peak, you've got a whole cycle there, all right? I assume these are 3 levels. And then you've got a whole cycle there. Now, that being said, being in the 50 EMA, what it means is, right, you form a first leg, you come to the 50 EMA, and then you form a second leg, right? So you expect to see the market buy the second leg. But in this case, the market has gone to the 50 EMA and has done that, all right? So at the moment, all is looking bearish. Unless the market forms either a whole D1 cycle or a whole H4 cycle and then gets to those lows, then it starts to buy. We can then take buys comfortable. All right, let me try and write this. I want to try and explain it to make sure you guys get it, right?
But we cannot see the drawings, coach.
You can't see the drawings?
Yeah.
I hope the same thing has happened again. Can you see the drawing now?
Yes.
So I'm saying this is your first leg, this is your second leg, right? Second leg up. We expect to see something like this being our 50 EMA. However, what we are seeing on the chart is first leg, stay in the second leg, and then drop down to the second leg. Sorry, the neckline, then drop down to the second leg and form something like this and something like that. Now, you've got your 50 EMA moving here. Okay? So there's a possibility this is your peak, this is your reset. Though it is still unconfirmed, this is your second peak. But this might also be your ID50. So now how then do I know what to look at for me to know the bias, right? If I want to know the bias, this is what I'll do. So I'll start marking levels from here, which is where I had marked on starting, right? So I would like to mark levels from here and say, I want to see 1, 2, 3 pushes to that low and then form a W. Then I'll be comfortable to take a buy to the 200 EMA, right? However, if I see, let me change my pen. If I see 1, 2, 3, peak formation, reset, 1, 2. Where do you think the market is going to go? The market is going to go for a what? For a sell, all right? The market is go for a what? For a sell. Until you have three levels down. So you want to see that what arrived to these lows, is it a peak formation or it's a level? If it's a level, then consider the market will continue going down. If it's a peak formation, then you can buy and see if the market will not reset and continue going up. But as far as W1 is concerned, all right, all we can see is the market has formed a peak, a pullback, and the market is here. And we might have a continuation, all right? So that's what you want to see. So you can't predict now whether this cycle is going to do this or that. But at the moment, the lows that we were seeing on D1, all right, let's just put a line and say this is where your low is and go back to H1. So the low that you are seeing on D1 is this one, all right? And already you can see how the market has shown you 3 levels to the downside, and how the market is now sitting there closer to those lows. My best guess is there is no way on earth you find a whole cycle being squeezed on this. They might try that, I don't know, but I don't think so. I think they might form a reset and then they will do something like this. All right. And the moment you see that, it shows you have a reset, level 1, and level 2. So where do you think the market is going to go? That way. All right. That's where the market is going to go. So then that becomes your 4-hour level, breaking the T1 lows. Okay. So you keep an eye on it and see how it's going to react. But as soon as you see that reset, you need to buy it. You need to sell it. Or if you see this W, you need to buy it. There's nothing to wait for. All right. There's nothing really to wait for. But I'm just saying, when you get to the lows, you evaluate and see what exactly the market could be creating. All right. Hope this makes sense, guys. So this one, I said it needs to form a W, so look to buy. This is a very good one as well. I predicted this sell, but this is too clumsy. It's gonna take us all day to try and count this. Let's see another one. This one we've already spoken about, that we expect to see either the market come back to the low here, then we can have our comfortable buys from there. Or if the market decides to come to the 800 EMA, you'll see this in the video. If it decides to come to the 800 EMA, then they can form a nice W there, then we can go up, right? V100, my anticipation, if you look at it from the D1 time frame, it's coming from a peak formation. Again, you need to count your levels for you to be sure where the market is going to go. If you count your levels, that's the only way that's going to help you guys. You need to see what happened here. How many levels do you have here? Have you already completed your levels? Are you at a peak formation? I'm going to try and do some of these for you during the week and just throw them in the charts to show you what I am expecting or what I see, and then we take it from there. Okay, guys, I don't want to keep you here for long. Go and sleep, and I'll send charts of other pairs. All right.
It's after the men in our midst that is demanding for USDZAR, so that we will not be jealous.
The what? You're saying?
The woman in our midst, the only one that is asking for AUD-USD.
No, I'll send a chat for her. Don't worry. I'll send a chat on that one. I know all the USD.
Okay.
I'll send you a chart with the marked levels, but consider
but
that
in my own country, when the woman said, okay, it's not satisfying. So is that actually
no problem.
I see that one. Do you still want us to do it?
If you can do it, I'm still awake.
Share you see now. Share you see what I'm saying. Share you see.
Now, coach must also take a break. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to take a break from speaking, you know. Today I've spoken more than enough. All right, let's give it a try and see. Then I'll go and have my breakfast. I haven't had breakfast and it's already 8:52 a.m. now.
Sorry for that. Thank you so much.
All right, let's try and see that one. So, all right, where are we going to start counting our levels? All right, so anyway, let's start from where the market is, right? And try and see if we can find 3-4 hour levels in this or not. Right. This is the whole cycle and understand, because Euro USD is on L3, H4, which is D1, L1, all right? It doesn't mean that other USD pairs are going to be exactly in the same spot. You might find probably odd USD is on H4, L2, or maybe GU is on H4, L2 as well, all right? You might find something like that too. But because they are correlated, they might be going in the same direction, but being at different levels altogether. Okay, so you need to pay attention to that as well. So don't confuse that. All right. Okay. All right. Let me try and wrap this. All right. So because of you, madam, we're gonna do this one. All right, let's see. Is there anything significant that we can see from the D1? Anything interesting? There isn't really. All right, so I can't see any pushes here except weekly moves. So what I'm going to do is, again, to make things simple for myself, I will mark my pushes. All right, my weekly pushes as my levels. All right, my weekly pushes. And then lastly, this one. So when I start counting levels on H1, I need to find myself in those sort of areas. Okay, so that's how my box is gonna look like. Now, shark fins. Let's look at shark fins. All right, let's go to D1 and see if we can find shark fins. I need to repeat this over and over again so it can help you. Now, on this one, we do not have any shark fins. All right, as you can see, there are no shark fins at the point where we are marking from. Let's go to H4. Again, on H4, 0 shark fins. Now you can see here at the bottom, remember what I was saying? There is some shark fins that pop out here. And these are the kind of shark fins that I said, disregard them because they will not be showing you true levels. Like, no, okay. Not to say if you see a shark fin, say, oh yeah, because it formed right there, I'm going to disregard it. Not really. All I'm saying is, if the shark fin is not showing you the true market level, you can't do anything on it. The only thing it will show you is that the market will pull back or consolidate for a while. That's the only thing the shark fin is going to do. But when you count your levels on H1, you will see that there's nothing of interest about these 3 shark fins that we see here, which is why I'm saying disregard them, all right? Now, let's go to H1 and fix our H4 levels. So coming down here, the first thing that I see, all right, I'm going to use the box. All these tools are available to you guys for you to use. Now, before I count my levels, I'm going to show you another tool. This ADR thing is available to you. ADR times 3 is 156. So if I pull this thing here, this box until it is 156, roughly plus or minus, all right, and put it over here, do you realize that the first box is equal to that 156? The second box is probably smaller by a little bit, but you can see that the first push, the first cycle is equal to 156. This is not a coincidence, guys. So all these tools are available to you so that you can use them and actually see that, okay, so I'm expecting you can actually say, okay, this is a peak formation. I want to see price fall until to the end of this bar or a little lower or just before, but I want to see 3 levels. They can guide you as you move, okay? Now, this is my first level, all right? I remember we were in this cell together, and it was very nice. All right. This is my second level. And lastly, this is my third level. So make sure you pay attention, guys, because next week is going to be you marking these levels, both on volatilities and currencies. It's going to be you marking these levels. So make sure you pay attention. All right. Then after that, we see one. This is a 15 EMA reset. And then I see what looks like a 2, but I'll hold this for now. And because they congested everything in here, right? It was going to be hard for you to find it. It was going to be hard for you to find it. So now, how did I then find these drops? I actually used lower lows. Okay. So the first cycle usually is very clean and very good. You're going to enjoy that one. But the second cycle or the third cycle, whichever starts first, you see they're going to congest it. So I'm using lower lows to count my levels, just like what I used on USDMXN on the last cycle. So I'm using those lower lows to actually find my H4, right? So don't get confused there. Now, I'll then move my box over here. So that means this box has to come over here. Now, we expected a buy again on this day. And there's nothing wrong with expecting a buy. It doesn't mean your analysis is wrong. Get this right, guys. You have seen 3 levels of drop, right? You expect a sell. That means everything is okay. Now, what happens is you then get your first drop. We've got a visitor here now. My son just woke up. All right.
The king
Welcome.
of creative effort.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sorry for that too.
All right. So can you see that now?
When the kings are, the kingsmen are taking charge.
Yes. There you go. So what do you expect? You expect a reversal. Now you have seen D1 level, all right? What you want is a reversal. And because it is a D1 level, 2 things will happen. Number 1, we might sell to the low. If that happens, that's even better for us, because if we sell to the low, we will then buy all the way up and expect to see the market reset and continue their sales. Or at this point, if the market continues to go up, that'll be even better, because as soon as they get to where they are going, they will give us a setup and then we can sell. That is also what can happen as well. So we are looking forward to both of those scenarios happening. So all you need to do is just to put a line on your first leg there and just wait to see if the market is going to come down there. So that is it about AUD/USD. You will see if I'm going to send flashcards, I might send flashcards for AUD CAD and other pairs. You see how they are actually sitting at different areas altogether, and some are even ranging because they are forming different kinds of setup altogether. All right. Now, with USD CAD, I forgot to mention something, that the reason why we even have another confluence of a peak formation here. If you look to your left-hand side where you have another D1 cycle, you'll find that your market is actually forming a peak on the neckline of the last peak formation. All right. That is it, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you're going to have an interesting week. And
Thank you.
please